Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the video. Hopefully you're doing fantastic today, and welcome back to another breakdown of the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach gameplay trailer. Now I know I already have done one of these back in February when the trailer first came out. However, since then I have watched this trailer an unhealthy amount of times, so we're going back to it once again because there is a lot of stuff that I missed out on, and I can guarantee that there's some stuff that you didn't know about this trailer that we'll be going over in today's video. Now this will probably be the last Security Breach breakdown video I do until we get another trailer, hopefully on the anniversary coming up next week. So let's go ahead and make this a good one. There is a lot to go over, so let's just get right into it. If you guys are excited, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. But without further ado, let's get started on the breakdown.
When I first found you, you were nothing. You were small, pathetic. But now, you are more. Are you ready?
So just in those first 15 seconds alone, we actually have quite a bit of information here. Let's start with the obvious, this being the Vanny mask from FNAF VR. So in the Curse of Dreadbear DLC, in the Foxy Corn Maze minigame, which I absolutely despised, if you collected 5 keys, went back to the center, and you went in the cellar, you would find Vanny's mask here, and it appears that this mask will be returning in Security Breach in one way or another. Now, whether Vanny is actually going to be wearing this mask, or if this is just going to be a way for Vanny to communicate with Glitchtrap, we really don't know, because as we know from FNAF AR game special delivery, Vanny actually has all the fabric to make her new suit that we also see in the trailer and previous teasers of the game. So I don't think Vanny will be wearing this mask as much as her actual costume, so I think this will just be used as a smaller prop, but I definitely feel like this mask will still have some importance in the game. So as the camera zooms into the mask, which is interesting that it zooms into the eye, almost like we're going to get a perspective of Vanny as it slowly zooms into the mask. Kind of reminded me a bit of the FNAF World trailers when the camera zooms into the animatronic eye holes. This kind of reminds me of the same thing, so maybe we'll be playing as, or we'll not be playing as Vanny, but seeing some perspective of Vanny. Maybe this is an opening cutscene of the game where we hear the person talking, which we'll get to in a second, and maybe we'll just see the perspective of Vanny for a few parts in the game. I think that would be really interesting. So we get the view of Gregory, but we also get the view of Vanny during the game. And then the second most notable thing in this part of the trailer is the voice talking. So we're going to take a listen to it, and then we're going to break down what it's saying, because it is very important. My guess is as good as everyone else's. I think that this is Glitchtrap talking, whether it's Glitchtrap communicating with Vanny as a real person, or this is Glitchtrap communicating with Vanny through a computer screen. We don't know. Like I said previously, Glitchtrap has communicated with Vanny through a computer screen while she was working at Fazer Entertainment, as we know through some FNAF AR email leaks. So I think that this scene right here will be some kind of opening cutscene, more like a prologue to the game, kind of like how Sister Location had that opening cutscene. I'm pretty sure that Security Breach will have something similar, where we'll get to see the perspective of Vanny while she's being talked to by Glitchtrap, telling her, are you ready to do this? Because we know whatever's happening in Security Breach, it's going to be big. So Glitchtrap is kind of giving her a motivational speech. When I first found you, you were no one, you were nothing, you had no importance. And that's obviously going back to FNAF VR, when Vanny first found Glitchtrap in the game, the Glitchtrap virus, and then Glitchtrap took over her mind, and now he's telling her what to do and all this such. So I think it's interesting. I do think that this will be some kind of cutscene before the game starts itself, and then we'll get into the actual game itself. So I think this is interesting. Definitely some Master and Apprentice stuff going on, where Glitchtrap is talking to Vanny, and we'll just see where it has to go from there. What people have brought up is that this doesn't sound like previous William Afton actor PJ Hayward, who played William Afton in Sister Location and FNAF 6. And I think it's because this isn't William Afton talking, this is Glitchtrap. I think this is weird, because Glitchtrap is, well, William Afton is Glitchtrap, like the spirit of William Afton is in Glitchtrap, but I don't think Glitchtrap is William Afton, if that makes sense. So William is Glitchtrap, but Glitchtrap isn't William, so they're going to have a different voice, unless PJ Hayward is playing this, and this is Glitchtrap speaking through someone else before he gets his own animatronic body, which we see at the end of the trailer. I don't know, but I definitely do think it's interesting that this is the first time we actually hear Glitchtrap communicating back to Vanny, you know, back again in FNAF VR. We communicated with Glitchtrap, but Glitchtrap didn't communicate with us, so I think it's interesting, and it'll be really cool to see how this plays out in the game. Right after we enter the eye of Vanny, we get to see Vanny herself hopping down this hallway with bright flashing red lights. And it's really unnerving, honestly, because you can see how Vanny is hopping down this hallway almost like she's enjoying it. No, she's just entered the establishment or whatever this is. I think this is just the start of the game. Vanny has entered the establishment. The alarms are going off. We can see with the bright red sirens. You can see them flashing, right? It's not just me. They are flashing a little bit, so it's interesting to think. So either Vanny has gone into the security system already and all the lights are going out. Whether this was done intentionally or unintentionally, it's just her breaking into the building at the start of the game, I don't know, but I definitely think that this is when Vanny has entered the establishment and now stuff is about to go down. And then the next scene, interestingly enough, is our first view of the Night Guard character, whether that is Vanny, whether these two are the same people or not. I don't know, we'll get into that later on. Actually, this is finally the time we're actually going to discuss if Night Guard and Vanny are the same people, but I do think it's interesting that this is the first actual human model character we've seen in any FNAF game. Apart from there being like character sprites in 8-bit minigames, this is the first time we actually see a human person, and I think it's really cool. So this is the Night Guard. You can obviously see she's got a security hat on. The torch says Fazbear something, so I'm guessing like Fazbear's Pizzaplex. Interestingly as well is how her fingernails are painted purple, and as we all know, purple is the signature color of Glitchtrap. It appears in Help Wanted when we're getting possessed by him, and it also happens at the end of the trailer, which we'll get to in a moment. But I do think it's interesting that her nails are painted purple. Whether it's just to throw everyone off or whether it's actually intentional, we'll just have to wait and see when the game comes out. There's some things we can't really get a definite answer to until the game actually happens. But something we can talk about is how she looks worried, because as I'm guessing we're playing as Gregory right now going down this elevator, she looks worried, almost as if like we're going somewhere bad or something bad is happening. Maybe we're playing as Gregory and Freddy's with us, protecting us, and she's just looking in complete shock as we're with this giant animatronic with us. I don't know, I think that could be something interesting, but I definitely think that this is a gameplay screenshot right here of Gregory going down some elevator and the Night Guard is worried of what's happening right now. So yeah, I think that's an interesting point of discussion. Here in the background, there's actually quite a few things, so let's zoom into here so I can get a good look at these guys in the background here. Here in the background, we have these two what look like puppet animatronics. So this could either be Moondrop and Sunrise in a way, because you can kind of see their circular face with a pointed nose, and that kind of reminds me of Moondrop and Sunrise. So maybe these are just puppets for all we know. They could just be puppets hanging up by strings, or these could actually be other animatronics. We discussed in last video that there could be more animatronics that we haven't seen yet in this establishment, such as El Chip. There could be Bonnie in this game for all we know. So I think it is interesting that there is possibly more animatronics that we haven't seen yet in this establishment for us to find, or in this game's place, are going to find us. You can see the light clipping through the Night Guard's belt. Actually, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Again, this gameplay trailer was pretty old. There is a lot of old footage used, which is why people say the Night Guard doesn't look that great. And to be completely fair with you, it doesn't look the best at the moment, but I can guarantee the Night Guard will look a whole lot more polished once the game is fully out. You know, once the game comes out, it's going to look almost a million times better. It's going to be completely polished, and it's going to be a whole lot better to look at. Here we get another look at Fazer Blast, and it looks absolutely incredible. This is actually a different angle than what we've seen previously, so we can actually see quite a few new things. First of all, there is a staircase behind this party room here. So we were discussing how people would actually enter the party room, because there seems to be this doorway here, but there was no other way of going from the arena itself into this little party room. So it looks like what you're going to be able to do is go up this staircase here and into this party room, which, if we look at now, you can now see that there is a rocket there. I'm pretty sure that wasn't there last time. The disco ball is still there. You can see some benches with star patterns on them, which once again is a repeating occurrence, because every time we see some kind of furniture, it has this star pattern on it, which I think is pretty cool. There's also these patterns on the carpets, which I can't make out right now. I think it might be Chica. So this Fazer Blast could be Chica's area. You know, every time there's an area, each animatronic has their own face on it. So Montgomery Gator's golf course has Montgomery's face. Roxanne's Raceway will have Roxanne's face on it. So possibly this is Chica's face. I really can't tell because it doesn't look like Freddy's face. Unless it's something else. Maybe it's just another kind of silhouette of a character with their space helmets on. I really can't tell right now. But it's going to be really exciting running around this area. It looks so vibrant and so alive that I'm so excited to explore this place. Here we get a shot of Vanny hopping down this hallway here. Now, there's a few things to point out. First of all, you've got this giant Freddy Fazbear's Pizzaplex logo right there, and then Vanny is hopping in the shadows. So I think that's kind of a metaphor that Vanny will always be there, but in the shadows, hidden away from view. But when the time is right, she's gonna come out and pounce on us. So I think that's pretty cool. Something else to note out as well is she doesn't have any kind of weapon on her. Again, I think this is at the start of the game where Vanny has just entered the establishment because she doesn't have a knife here. So possibly when you enter the establishment, there's gonna be some like metal detectors where you can't bring in any knives or anything to prevent accidents that have happened in past previous locations. So I think that the security in this place is definitely a lot of a bigger step up than the previous one. So Vanny can't enter the establishment with a whole bunch of weapons and such. She's going to need to go to the kitchen or something to be able to get her kitchen knife that she uses against Gregory. Now let's do a little bit of magic here. I'm going to go ahead and brighten up this image. There we go. See, we're doing upgrades here, everyone. Instead of me lighting up the image and editing, I'm actually doing it now because, funny enough, I'm watching this video using my video editing software that I use to edit my videos. If we look here, we can see she's hopping down some kind of hallway with 3 doors. You've got 1 door here, 1 door here, and 1 door here. So I originally thought these were bathrooms because 1 door would be for the men, 1 door would be for the women. But the 3rd door here, I don't know, maybe there's a bathroom for not just the men, but the women and children too, but I don't think these are bathrooms anymore. So if you were to just enter the establishment, where would these doors lead to? Unless this is just a random corridor in the giant complex that this place is. So I don't think it's that important right now, but you can see how long this corridor is because it starts to fade out here. So yeah, interesting to think about where this is. Vanny doesn't have a weapon, so this is probably at the start of the game where Vanny has just entered the establishment. Next, we get some text, which is pretty interesting to think about. Now, before we actually talk about the text, let's try go far enough where we can see Vanny's silhouette. I think I might need to brighten up the image again. There we go. Perfect view of Vanny right there. And that's because I think that this text is actually talking about Vanny. You know, I heard some people saying that this text is talking about the player or Gregory, because, you know, you would be really terrified in this giant establishment all by yourself with all these animatronics after you. But I'm pretty sure that this text is actually talking about Vanny. First of all, because you can see Vanny's silhouette every time text appears, but also what the text says altogether, which we'll get to once we get to see all of it. It makes a lot more sense of it being Vanny the more you think about it. So the first text here says when fear takes hold. So my guess is, once again, is that this is when fear takes hold of Vanny. You know, Glitchtrap is in her mind. You would be terrified. Think about it. You've just played this VR game and this virus is now in your head and it's now telling you what to do. You would be absolutely terrified. So I think that this is talking about Vanny when fear is taking hold of Vanny. Up next, we get this awesome view of the animatronics. This is Roxanne and it just looks incredible. I mean, it looks so polished, so new, so clean. I love the designs of the Glamrocks, especially this shot right here, because you get this giant spotlight of the whole animatronic. All the other scenes have the animatronics in the dark, but this scene right here shows Roxanne perfectly, and it just looks amazing. I mean, I love the designs of the toy and sister location animatronics because they were kind of this plasticky metal, but they were really shiny. this is bringing it back once again, and it just looks absolutely amazing. Steelwool did an amazing job modeling these. It wasn't Scott. Scott gave the idea of the Glamrock animatronics, but I'm pretty sure it was Steelwool who actually modeled these animatronics, so they look absolutely incredible. So here we've got Roxanne Wolf, red glowing eyes. Keep that in mind because that is going to get very important as we go out throughout the trailer. All the animatronics have red eyes. You can see these hatches all over her body, so this reminded me of Circus Baby and Sister Location. In Night 5 of Sister Location, when you have to take Baby to the scooping room, she tells you to open up a hatch, and there's a key card that lets Baby communicate with the player. So maybe this is where Gregory will be able to communicate with Glamrock Freddy. Glamrock Freddy opens up a hatch in his arm, and then there's a communication device. I don't know, that might not be the reason, but I do think it's interesting that they share similar design features to the Sister Location animatronics. Another design that's similar to those animatronics actually is you can see the hatch on her chest cavity, so we know that Gregory will be able to hide inside Glamrock Freddy because his chest plate's open, but it looks like all the animatronics are going to have this feature. So here you can see the flap that would open up, revealing a cavity for someone to hide inside, which, just thinking about, why would animatronics have the feature to be able to hold someone? I think it's pretty interesting, unless the person who designed these animatronics was really thinking about security when it came to this place. And reality fails is the next text we have here, and once again you can see the silhouette of Vanny right there. You can actually see it a bit more clearer than the last one. So again, this text is talking about Vanny. So the first one was when fear takes hold and reality fails. So it's obviously talking about, like, I'm reminded of virtual reality now. FNAF VR was a VR game, and Vanny was one of the beta testers in the game. So Vanny's reality has failed now that Glitchtrap virus is inside her head. So, I mean, think about it. Your whole world has changed now that there's someone in your head. You would think about this supernatural kind of beings, and to think that there's one in your head, it would shatter your reality. So I think that's what it's about. So when fear takes hold and reality fails. Next, we get this awesome view of Montgomery. Actually, it's not so awesome because the shadows are taking up the whole screen. So to brightness we go. That's a bit better. I apologize if it doesn't look that great. This is Montgomery Gator. Once again, a brand new animatronic for this game, and he's looking mega again. And once again, he shares the similar chest and arm cavities that all the other Glamrock animatronics possess. So I do think that's interesting to think about. The stage is set, and let's go again. Back to Vanny. Yeah, right here you can see the silhouette of her eyes and nose and a little bit of her whiskers. So when fear takes hold and reality fails, the stage is set. So going back to it again, when fear takes hold of Vanny, so Glitchtrap has taken hold of Vanny and reality fails, her world is shattered, the stage is set, or the time is right for Glitchtrap to unfold his plan to get back into a physical form using Vanny. So I think it's really cool. This text always means something important, especially like in Sister Location. I forgot it was like deep underground where memories sleep, anger is restless, and secrets don't keep, or something like that. If that's right, I'm impressed but disappointed that I memorized that. I like looking into text because sometimes text can be more important than the actual image itself. Not always, but this trailer's text is really interesting as well. So when fear takes hold, reality fails, the stage is set, and we'll get to the next one in a second. After we get this awesome view of Glamrock Chica activating, it looks like. You know, all the other animatronics were standing up straight. This one looks like she's hunched over, getting up in a way. So maybe all these animatronics are just getting activated, ready for a stage performance. You can see all the lights going up and down, almost like this is an elevator. So maybe the actual stage that these guys perform on is an elevator, so they can be lowered from the top levels to the bottom layers where they can get prepared or things like that. I think that's really cool. And insanity prevails, and we get our last look at Vanny right here. I don't even think I need to brighten up the image. That makes it worse, actually. You can see her arm there and whiskers, but here you can actually see her ears and basically the whole mask. So yeah, when fear takes hold and reality fails, the stage is set and insanity prevails. When Glitchtrap takes hold of Vanny and her reality fails, the stage is set, the time is right, and insanity prevails. Because obviously, if you've got this virus in your head, you would go insane, and you can tell because she seems happy about what she's doing. The way she hops down the hallway, the way she talks to Gregory, she's obviously a bit insane. Maybe not a bit, maybe a bit more, but you see where I'm going with this. So I do think it's interesting, and let's move on. And then we get a look of the whole gang together, and my goodness, it looks absolutely incredible. Not with that brightness doesn't help at all. These guys are awesome, and I cannot wait. I really can't. It's such a cool scene of the whole band together. This is actually my desktop wallpaper. It's a better image than this. I'll flip it up on screen now so you guys can get a better view of these guys. But yeah, it's so cool to see them all together, just activating on stage. All of them have red eyes, including Glamrock Freddy. I think you need to think about that, because I made a poll a few days ago. I've been posting a few polls every day or so, and one of them was, do you think Glamrock Freddy will be good for the entire duration of the game? And like 90% of you said yes, he will be good the whole game. But we can see his glowing red eyes there, so if they've all got glowing red eyes, it obviously means something bad, because glowing red eyes never means anything good. So unless something's happening with Glamrock Freddy, we don't see him at all in the trailer. This is it. This is our only shot of Glamrock Freddy in the trailer, so it's possible he will be helping us in the trailer, but personally, in my opinion, I don't think he'll be good and helping us the entire game.
Gregory, we can get you out of here. You and me together.
Here's another awesome scene as well. This is our first look at Gregory, and he appears to be in a security room with a whole load of monitors. Let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32 monitors in front of it. You know, we're used to flipping up a single camera panel and having to flip through the cameras. This time, all the cameras are just spread out on their own separate monitors, which is going to be really cool to see the entire location in one shot. Or maybe not, because all of them seem to be glitched off, shut down, things like that. You can see there's purple buttons everywhere, almost like Glitchtrap has taken over the security. He's hacked into the mall. Vanny has put Glitchtrap into the security of the mall, and now he's not only in control of Vanny, but the mall itself. It's interesting to talk about Gregory as well, is at this scene in the trailer, does this help? A little bit. People have been talking about the 2 stripes on his t-shirt. I call BS if you think that Gregory is the crying child, because the crying child incident with the Bite of 83 takes place in the 1980s, I think? I don't know. This game takes place in the 2030s or 40s, probably, I think 2040s, so if the Bite victim is staying this young forever, I think it's a bit weird. People have suggested that Gregory is actually an animatronic, like the I put you back together version of Crying Child. I don't think that's the case. I think Gregory is a normal human. You can actually see his t-shirt on the statue that Funko made. You can't see the back of his t-shirt with this stripe, but he's got a blue polo shirt on, and it's not the same shirt as in the Crying Child. What more we can see is that Gregory currently is wearing the watch in this scene, and this watch gets really important because we can see it again later on in the trailer, and we get a more in-depth view of that. But just keep this watch in mind. So this scene probably takes place maybe just after the mid part of the game where Vanny has hacked into the mall. Gregory's found this watch. He's got the flashlight and everything, so he's obviously kitted himself out with the gear he needs to run away and survive. So yeah, it's curious to see, will the flashlight and watch have a really important use, hopefully against us or to help us escape from the animatronics? We'll just have to wait and see. During the scene, we get dialogue from who appears to be the night guard. So
Gregory, we can get you out of here. You and me together.
Yeah, I think that is the night guard, and let's go back to the theory that Vanny is the night guard. I compared the 2 voices together of Vanny and the night guard, and they don't sound similar, so I'm guessing there's 2 separate voice actors. Obviously they would sound different because the voice muffles up Vanny's voice, but yeah, what the night guard's saying here, Gregory, we can get you out of here, you and me together. So let's break that down. Obviously, first word we hear the night guard say is Gregory. First word we hear Vanny say is Gregory. So that's probably just a coincidence, but we can get you out of here. We can get you out of here. So is that just me and you? Because if you say we can get you out of here, is that what she says? Let me make sure quickly.
Get you out. We can get you out.
Yeah, we can get you out of here. So if it was just the 2 of them, I'm pretty sure she would say, I can get you out of here. But since she says we can get you out of here, I think that there's someone else in the scene right now, possibly one of the animatronics helping Gregory escape nearing the start of the game. And then she says you and me together, so it seems like both of them are trying to escape the establishment. Now whether that's Vanny trying to gain the trust of Gregory or whether the night guard is simply just the night guard, it sounds like they're both trying to escape the establishment. And obviously you would be. I mean, if all this has happened, the security has been breached and there's nothing you can do, you would try your best to escape, but with all these killer animatronics after you, it'd be a bit difficult. So she's trying to convince Gregory, we can get you out of here, you and me together. Next we get this scene, which do I need to say anything about? I mean, this is just absolutely awesome. When I saw this scene in the trailer, I think my mouth never has opened up that quick before. My jaw just dropped. It's so cool to see this. This is what Scott was talking about. This was the reason why this game got delayed to 2021 in the first place, because Scott made a post saying, just wait until you see Montgomery Gator's golf course. Steelwool keeps on making this game so much bigger by adding more to the game, which I think that's enough now, Steelwool. Please let this game release this year. Stop adding more, please, I beg you. This is Montgomery Gator's golf course. It looks phenomenal. It's so cool to see. You can see all the golf course. You can see the whole number, that's 14 down there. You can see this giant hologram of Montgomery, and it's just so cool to see. I can just imagine how this is going to be like in the game, whether we're going to be actually playing golf, whether we're going to be running away from an animatronic. It's just going to be so cool, this area. I cannot wait to explore this place. It looks like there's some sort of buildings. One right here, you can just see the roof right here, and another one right here where you can see another ceiling. So yeah, I think there could be multiple buildings within this place, whether that's the entrance to the golf course itself, whether the golf course can go inside of different locations. As we know, it does go through a figure of Monty, as we've seen in the gameplay screenshots. So I think it's cool to see where this golf course is going to take us. I don't think the golf course is going to take us up here. You can see this location has some catwalk on top of it, and that's really interesting to think about. Why would there be a catwalk on top of this room? I'm sorry if I keep on brightening up the image, I'm just trying to see if it's better to see. But yeah, I do think it's interesting that there's some sort of balcony up top where the staff or behind the scenes, they can walk up there. I think that's interesting to point out. Here we have the night guard, and we seem to be playing as Gregory right now, hiding behind some kind of curtain. In the background here, you can see a giant golden statue of Roxanne holding her flag. You can see there's tons of different lights in the establishment. You've got one of Chica right here, some stars, some musical symbols. And over here, you've got a giant cardboard cutout of what seems to be Foxy's pirate ride from FNAF VR. You've got a diver here right behind the boat, looking to find some treasure underneath the ship. Obviously, you've got Captain Foxy here from FNAF VR. So I do think that this is like a museum kind of place. It's playing homage to previous locations. So this red curtain here, the first thing I thought of was we could be hiding in an iteration of Pirates Cove. So I know Pirates Cove has a purple curtain, but this one could be red, maybe from another Freddy Fazbear's location. Or we're hiding behind Glamrock Freddy's curtain. As you know, the showrooms all have their own curtains. Maybe this scene right here, we're hiding behind Glamrock Freddy's curtain, and that's when we actually first meet Glamrock Freddy. The most interesting thing to point out is that we actually see the night guard roaming around. So if the night guard's roaming around and we assume the animatronics are loose, why is the night guard roaming around? Or why are we hiding from the night guard? So I think this is the start of the game when Gregory is just running away from everything. He's scared, he's worried, he wants to keep himself safe, so he doesn't trust anyone. So the night guard's roaming around trying to find Gregory while Gregory is hiding away.
They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you.
So this next scene is rather interesting because we get a view of what seems to be this sewer-like location, and once again we're going to go ahead and brighten up the image, and oh look at that, you can see all clear again. So yeah, this seems to be some kind of underground sewage area. You can see this giant pipe here in the background with multiple other pipes. This just reminds me of a sewer. And what's interesting is that we've actually seen a gameplay screenshot taking place in the sewer with the broken Glamrock Chica. So right now, this scene, we have Gregory presumably running away from something. Maybe he's running away from that broken Glamrock Chica. She's broken, but not deactivated, and now she's continuously pouncing after Gregory. All this scene takes place at the very end of the game after we see Glitchtrap's physical form and he's running away from either Glitchtrap or Vanny in this underground location. I noticed something a few days ago right here. You can see this symbol right here. That's kind of like a caution, dangerous, hazardous material kind of symbol. I'm not sure what the actual technical term for it is, but I think it's interesting that this place underground, the location, is obviously used often as there's catwalks and there's bricks laying the foundation to hold the place up. So staff obviously comes down here for something important, so whether maybe the power to the location is actually hazardous materials or stuff like that, and maybe it's Glitchtrap's plan to release all the hazardous material, I'm not too sure, but we don't get a good look at what this is. Some people have said animatronic parts, like you can see up here. This corner right here kind of looks like an animatronic head. You've got the mouth and the eyeball there. I'm not too sure personally. I've tried my best brightening up this image and this is the best I can get, but I do think that this symbol for hazardous material is rather interesting. And you can see how this place just leads into like a maze. You've got this big open area that suddenly leads into smaller tunnels. So this is going to get really claustrophobic and it's going to get real dark real quickly. Here we get our first look at the playground, and this is where you start to see the textures being unfinished because it's all just solid color palettes. It doesn't have any texture to it or anything like that. It's just solid colors. So you got light blue, yellow, red. It doesn't have any texture to it. So this is one of the parts of the game that's obviously unfinished at the time of making the trailer, but there's still some interesting things to point out here. Number one, you've got this wire. Why would there be a wire like that in a kid's play area? So I don't think that was put there intentionally. So either one of the animatronics was told by Vanny and Glitchtrap to put it there, whether it was just Vanny who put it there to try catch Gregory, I'm not too sure, but I do think that it's rather interesting that there's just a wire hanging out there. I don't think that should be there. Whether it's going to tie into what Vanny's plan is, we don't know. We're gonna have to wait until the game comes out to find out. And in case you were curious, brightening up the image does absolutely nothing. You can kind of get a better view of this area back here where it would be pitch black, but apart from that, brightening up the image just makes things worse. This is what I'm calling the museum slash green room area. Now, you can see here we've got giant cases with Glamrock Chica's guitar. Now, I've seen some people saying that this is Bonnie's guitar from FNAF 1 or something. This is Glamrock Chica's guitar. You can see it at the start of the trailer. She has a blue and pink guitar. You can see it when she's performing on stage. She's got a blue and pink guitar. So it's kind of a bit egotistical to be showcasing the props from the current location and not like the history of FNAF from like the toy animatronics, the regular animatronics, the withered animatronics, things like that. I do think we will be showcased some older stuff from previous games, but for right now, you've just got this guitar here that belongs to Glamrock Chica. You've got the cupcake here, so the cupcake is in this game. Chica's just not going to be holding it as her companion in this game. It's just going to be stored there in a little glass cabinet, which I think is still kind of cool that we do have the cupcake in this game. Top here, we've got an air vent, so maybe we're going to be able to climb around in the vents as like a form of fast travel or something. So instead of roaming around the establishment with the big giant animatronics after us, maybe we can climb into the vents where the animatronics won't be able to reach us. You've got cones here, and these aren't like wet floor cones. These look like construction cones, so something is happening here. Almost like this entire location isn't actually complete, and we'll get to more of that in this moment. It's like this mall is finished, but it's not 100% complete. As we run through this area right here, you can see all the animatronic green rooms. So here we've got Chica the Chicken, we've got Montgomery Gator, Roxanne Wolf is over there, and Freddy Fazbear is at the very end. And each one of them seems to have their own corridor, which is interesting. Now, if I go forward carefully, frame by frame, this is where it's going to be important because you can only see it for like a glimpse of a second. Right here, you can actually see the back of Roxanne Wolf walking down this room. So there's actually animatronics active right now, roaming the establishment. You know, right here, we can see Glamrock Chica performing on her pink and blue guitar, but you can actually see Roxanne Wolf is roaming this area right here. This is definitely when some of the animatronics have become active or going after Gregory. Perhaps not all of them, because Glamrock Chica doesn't appear to be going after Gregory, although I don't see why would Glamrock Chica perform when no one else is here? The scenes really don't make any sense right now. I hope it does when the game comes out. But having all the animatronics perform and all the lights going on when no one is in the mall, I find really interesting. Unless it's Gregory, who's just the one who powered up the location. Here you can see a early look at Chica's green room. Obviously, this is a lot different than what we've seen recently with the gameplay screenshots. I mean, you can look at the difference between this room and the updated version. They look so much better than the original one. So this gameplay trailer really early on, and this game is going to look a whole lot better when it releases.
We have to get you out by morning.
Here we get a good view of Gregory going down a slide and into this massive ball pit with this giant play area. Now I'm gonna try find a good scene yet right here where we get to look at this entire location, because this place, once again, is just gigantic. You have these wires hanging around the place. I really don't know what that's for. Maybe it's just poor management of where the cables to the lights go in this entire place. Maybe it is for something for Vanny to do. I really don't know, but it's interesting that there's so many cables in the play area specifically. There's not anywhere else, so I think it's weird. You can see there's a rainbow that leads to another room, so this rainbow seems to be some kind of doorway. But if we look next to it, at this play area here, can you see right where my cursor is? Those two glowing red eyes there. This could just be lighting, but in my personal opinion, I think this is either sunrise or moondrop staring at Gregory as we go down this slide. So maybe we were running away from sunrise, but now moondrop is there and he's still watching us. And these red eyes appear a lot in the play area, so keep an eye out on that. Those are going to pop up again. But yeah, just this massive area right here into the ball pit. Once again, it does look a bit unfinished, but I still think it's really cool nonetheless, and it's going to be terrifying if an animatronic is going to be hiding here just as we jump in. It's going to be really creepy just getting dragged into a ball pit all of a sudden. Just hand just comes out of the ball pit and then drags Gregory under. That's going to be terrifying. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. Something I missed as well is this giant plushie of Freddy, which we actually saw as the giant plushie in Help Wanted, which unfortunately wasn't a prize. We got a Freddy plushie, but we didn't get the giant plushie, which this seems to be, because, you know, this is Security Breach. Everything is bigger, everything is better. Just before the scene ends, you can get this view of what seems to be a castle tower. So the sun and moon animatronic have this theme of sunshine and rainbows, but I think the moon animatronic kind of has this wizard tower theme, because we've seen, as well as we'll see later on in the trailer, there's lots of castle styled decorations in this place. So sunrise would obviously have rainbow, clouds, sun, and all that stuff, but the moon animatronic has stars, castles, and the moon. So we'll get more into that when we see more of it, but I just think it's interesting to point out nonetheless.
You will do as I say!
Alright, let's talk about these two right next to each other as it goes by pretty quickly. So right here, we have Glamrock Chica storming into the kitchen in pursuit of Gregory. And this reminds me a lot of Jurassic Park, if you remember. The raptors enter the kitchen and are now stalking down the kids. This is kind of the same thing where Chica is prowling the kitchen. No red eyes. Notice there's no red eyes, which I think is interesting, because when we saw her earlier, she had red eyes, but when they're in pursuit, they don't have red eyes. So I think that's interesting nonetheless. She's definitely chasing the player though. I can guarantee she's trying to find Gregory right now. So the AI of these animatronics, whether this is a scripted movement path or whether the AI is just being bad AI, I don't know, because it's going to be interesting. This game is free roam, so hiding from the animatronics is going to be harder, but it could be easier at the same time depending on what the AI of these animatronics are. As we move on here, we get another view of Montgomery Gator's golf course. I'm pretty sure this is Montgomery Gator's golf course, because once again you have the giant palm trees, you've got all the green vines that would represent Monty's color, and also you can see Monty strolling through here. It's not a good shot of him at all. Brightening up the image does nothing, but you can see Monty clearly walking through this area, and we are hiding in another ball pit. So there seems to be a ball pit in multiple locations, and once again hoping that there's no animatronic hiding in this ball pit waiting for us.
You will bring me what I want, and if you fail me, then you will
This scene here is what I was talking about earlier with the medieval kind of castle theme, because you've got this tower right here that would be a wizard's tower, and if you look at Moondrop's design, he kind of does look like a wizard. He's got the pajamas on, he's got his hat on. He reminds me a lot of a wizard that you would think of, so I think that this area right here, I think the play area is split into two areas. You've got Sunrise's area and you've got Moondrop's area, and this is obviously Moondrop area because it's dark and the lights are on, but Gregory's using a flashlight, so it's not like the entire room's location's lights are on. It's just decorative lights going on right now, so I think that's cool to think about. You have red eyes here and red eyes here. Now I think this one could be different. I think these two are definitely some animatronic watching us, but these lights here, I'm not too sure because there's 3 of them, so I'm a bit puzzled with that one. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. I mean, it just goes on forever. You've got, I think, maybe another ball pit right here, a little playhouse, slides leading into the ball pit. This place is going to be so fun to explore while we're getting chased by all these animatronics. And this bridge right here, we actually will see it in a scene in a few minutes, but just keep that in mind. So it seems like this trailer shows locations next to where they are in a few seconds. So it shows this location, and then in the next few scenes it's going to show this location again in a different angle. Here we get a good look at Roxanne's green room. Again, it's not going to be the quality it was in the in-game screenshot because it wasn't finished yet, but you can actually see she's not there because she's right here looking or chasing after Gregory, and that speed she's going, I just want to say there's no running away from her. There's no way we can run away. The character looks to run away, but at the speed this animatronic is going, there is no way we can escape. So if it seems each animatronic is going to have different abilities. Monty will probably be a lot stronger than the rest. Freddy will be helping us. Maybe Roxanne and Chica are going to be a lot quicker and a lot more agile because there is no running away from this animatronic here. If you get seen, you're dead, or unless you can find a good hiding place, I don't think it's going to go well for you. You can see the better view of the green room area. You've got Monty's hallway right here and Monty's room. You've got the giant statue of Montgomery, and as we go forward a bit more, you kind of get a better view of what's going on over here in this part of the museum. Now, it's really hard to make out what's actually in these glass cases, as there could be nothing at all because this is an early build of the game, but it's also difficult to see because it's just in that angle where you can't really make out what it is. Like here at the moment, it kind of looks like a bowl of some kind, but why would there be a bowl in a museum? So I'm not going to guess what's in these cases right now. The only ones that I can say for certain are Glamrock Chica's guitar and the cupcake. Right here we get a more detailed view of the watch, and I said keep the watch in mind because things get important, and here it is. So the watch seems to be the way where we're going to keep track of our stuff. You can see there's cameras, map, inventory, logs, and a whole bunch of other stuff at the bottom here. So I think this watch is going to be very important for gameplay when we play as Gregory, because we're obviously going to be able to see the cameras in the location. So I think this watch is more of a employees only thing, because why would patrons be given cameras of the location? You see what I mean? That would be a bit weird. So I think this watch has either been converted into security reasons, or it's just for security itself. So here, cameras, you can obviously see you've got cameras in what seems to be Montgomery Gator's area. 6 different places we're going to be able to look at, and before we actually zoom into the camera, you can kind of see we're in that area again where we saw Monty strolling around. So I think this is the ball pit in the green, or not the green room, in the golf course. So this is just looking around. You can see where the player's at, and you can see where the camera is. So it'd be interesting to see if we can actually see ourselves in the camera, because you've never really been able to do that in every other FNAF game. Map could be just the general layout of the whole location. So you've got cameras and you've got the map. So the map just shows the whole area and how to get to one place to another, because without that, you'd probably get lost in this giant complex. Inventory is interesting because it makes me feel like we're going to be collecting digital items to be able to unlock different areas, which I think could be kind of cool. Logs, so we get to keep track of the story and what we have to do. So there's going to be a goal to go from one place to another, get back to the other place, and to explore the location. So there's definitely going to be some kind of scripted story to the place. Here we've got flashlight power. I assume this is flashlight power, so right now we're at full. This is interesting. It seems to be the head of Freddy with a power symbol that says 100%. So this could either be Freddy's charge, so Freddy is currently helping Gregory and he's at 100% charge, or it could be the watch power for all we know, because the watch itself is shaped like Freddy's head. You can see the two ears right here. This button kind of resembles a cheek, and then this place over here shows the actual logo itself. So this could either be the watch power, it could be the camera power, it could be Freddy's power, not too sure. Moving on, we have an 8 in this security logo, because we've seen this triangle in the logo for security breach. So why there's an 8 in it, I'm not too sure. Maybe there's 8 animatronics after us. There's 8 different locations we can visit. I really don't know what this 8 is for. But the tickets to the right of it, I'm pretty sure that these are going to be for arcades. So while we're playing this game, we're going to be able to find tickets, and that's going to be able to let us to play some arcades, possibly unlock new tokens, and maybe to unlock a secret ending, you're going to need to collect all the tickets to be able to unlock a secret minigame. Last thing I'll talk about of this scene is that you can actually see the time up top, 12:09 a.m. And once again, I'm going to go back to last episode where we talked about the tech demo video. It's 12:09 a.m. which is 9 minutes after 12, so would it really make sense for, in the span of 9 minutes, Gregory gets this watch, is hiding inside the golf course and everything like that? I think that's a bit too quick to be able to do all that, so I think the game will start a bit earlier than 12 a.m. It will start at maybe 10 p.m. like I said last time, and so from 10 to 12 the animatronics aren't going to be active, but when it hits 12 a.m. the power goes out because no one else is left in the building, so all the lights are out, all the animatronics are active, and they're going to be chasing after Gregory.
Both of you, burn!
Here we get another view of the play area. You can see Gregory is going down into this bridge here, which we saw earlier. I told you we would see this bridge again, but this time Moondrop is dancing on the other side of it with this giant cable hanging around. I don't think that cable was there last time, so maybe it's actually Moondrop is the person putting all these cables around. What these are for, don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but Moondrop is dancing. He's not pursuing the player, he's just like there teasing the player in a way. So that's kind of eerie that he's not chasing the player. You can see he's clearly got red eyes, but he's not actually in pursuit of the player at this point in time. Maybe we walk out to him and he just decides to jump on us and we get jump scared. I really don't know. Let's actually go back a lot and talk about the voice, because I've kind of just ignored it until now, because otherwise there'd be way too much to talk about in each scene. So let's go over this voice that we hear during this entire scene.
You will do as I say. You will bring me what I want. And if you fail me, then you will. Both of you, burn!
You will do as I say, you will bring me what I want, and if you fail me, both of you will burn. So my guess, again, is as good as anyone else's. I think that this would be Montgomery talking, whether it's Glitchtrap talking through Montgomery, whether Montgomery is talking to other animatronics or something like that. I definitely think that this is Montgomery talking at the moment, as the next scene we see Montgomery himself, but it's weird to think that who he's talking to, because first of all he says you will do as I say, you'll bring me what I want, and if you fail me you will burn. It doesn't seem like a normal animatronic would say that, so I think this is either hacked Montgomery, this is Glitchtrap talking to or talking through Montgomery. So he's talking to two people right now, both means two other people, so maybe he's talking to Roxanne and Chica to go after Freddy and Gregory. I think it's interesting that Monty is talking to someone in this tone, in this way. There is a lot to talk about here. First of all, we get this awesome scene of Monty just busting through this gate. Now, whether this gate is currently locked or if it's simply unlocked and he's just making a big dramatic entrance, really don't know, but you could see he could either be chasing after Gregory, or perhaps he's opening up a different area of the location that we're trying to access. I think it's interesting nonetheless. I definitely think he's chasing us, because the next scene is us running through the utilities, and if you look closely, this seems to be the same room. You can see the same pipes here are the same pipes in this room, which leads me to suspect that Monty is definitely chasing us from this scene to this scene. So this is basically right after each other. So Monty busts through this gate, and now we're running away down this corridor. Next, we get a scene of what looks to be Roxanne locked behind this fence. So unlike Monty, she's not able to break through this fence. So it's going back to the fact that each character is going to have their own kind of characteristics. So Monty can break through gates, but Roxanne isn't going to be able to. And no red eyes, interestingly. None of the animatronics have red eyes. I'm going to go back a bit to this scene. She doesn't have red eyes, which is interesting. So I'm not sure why they were given red eyes at the start of the trailer if they don't have any when they're in pursuit of Gregory. So yeah, again, it could just be for show. Gregory could have actually locked Roxanne in this area. I'm pretty sure there is another hallway here. This isn't just like a small little box-in area. So we could have actually locked Roxanne in this area, and that's going to be a way so that we're not chased by all the animatronics at once. We're able to lock them in certain areas, so that way we can go do what we need to do in that area. However, in this scene here, we locked this room, but Monty is able to bust through it, and now we have to run and do whatever we want to do very quickly before he gets us. We have a Glamrock Chica chasing us, and I'm going to go ahead and brighten up this image so it's a lot better to see. There we go, that's a lot better. So this room seems to be... it reminds me of the first scene we see in the reveal trailer, the back room with the giant tanks, because you can see this part right here, it's kind of this circular shape. I think this could be one of the tanks or such. There's lots of boxes around, an underground area definitely, lots of gates, the lights are red interestingly, and something to note as well is, do you see the shadow of this giant fan on the floor? This right here is a giant fan blade, so the fan is back in security breach and it just gets bigger every time. So it could be some kind of cooling unit that cools down the power to the place before it gets overheated, and then the whole place burns down or stuff like that. So I think this is definitely the back room. Chica is chasing us, knocks down some boxes, stalls for a second, then goes back up to chase us. So it kind of looks like the animatronics are going to be able to get stalled just by simply knocking over a few boxes, which if I look at now, actually, she doesn't knock down any of these boxes. This box right here just looks like it's flying on its own. These boxes here, maybe I could see her knocking it over, but the box on the right here, I don't know what's up with that, because that box just starts flying for no reason. Here we get another scene of Vanny hopping down the same hallway we saw at the start of the trailer. I'm going to go ahead and brighten it up. It doesn't help too much, but yeah, I think this is the same corridor that we saw at the start of the trailer, but instantly this time, it kind of looks like we're looking through the view of a camera. We can see all the lines going across the screen, which we didn't see at the start of the trailer, but it still looks to be the same hallway, which is interesting. So I think this takes place right after the scene in the first part of the trailer, but this time we're viewing it through a security camera, which is interesting. Here we finally get our first look at the sun animatronic, and first thing I'm going to point out, the face is the same as Moondrop. So this is where the discussion comes in. Are Moondrop and Sunrise the same animatronics? Because you can see the moon face in Sunrise's face. Whether during the day Moondrop becomes Sunrise and then at night Sunrise becomes Moondrop, it could be something like that. However, I think it's weird because they would need to change their clothes, because I can understand the face turning on so that way you can see the moon, but the clothes change from yellow and brown to this blue and black, so I'm not sure if they are the same animatronic. I really don't know. It's a weird thing. I said that there's evidence on both sides of whether these are the same animatronic or if they're different. So yeah, I can't decide right now. I'm still on the fence of whether they are the same animatronic or if they're different. If they are different, that would make sense for more glowing eyes right here in the corner. So this could be Moondrop and Sunrise has just jumped out of this ball pit, whether he's about to chase Gregory or whatnot. Like I said earlier, maybe there's animatronics hiding in the ball pit. Maybe that's exactly what Sunrise here is doing. Next we get this scene of Roxanne's Raceway, which looks absolutely amazing. Once again, the textures seem to be a bit unfinished as the walls and ceiling are solid colors, but just to think that this place is going to be able to be explored and we're possibly going to be able to drive around in these cars It's going to be so fun to explore, and I'm so excited for it. Now, if we go down, however, you'll see that this kind of looks like a construction zone. You have forklifts here, you have supplies for construction here, so maybe, like I said earlier, the mall isn't complete, so it's kind of like in this, we're done, but we're still working on the mall, if that makes sense. There's a bridge here, which I just now noticed, so maybe the area with the salon is underneath this bridge and in an entirely separate room on the other side of this wall. So maybe this racetrack is a whole lot bigger than we think. And then we get a scene of Moondrop climbing down this slide in pursuit of Gregory, which is really unnerving. Once again, this seems to be Moondrop's area because you can see the castle there. Once again, the same bridge, so maybe Moondrop was dancing on top of the bridge, we turn around, run back, and now he's chasing after us, we slide down the slide, and now he's just behind us following us, and Gregory's gotta run. So I think that some scenes in this trailer actually take place right after one another. The more you watch this trailer, the more that seems to make sense, and I definitely think that this is one of those moments right here. And then the final shot of the trailer, we get this view of Vanny creeping out of this corner. Now, if I brighten up the image, it kind of makes things a bit better to see, but I don't think we actually need to do that for this. I'll keep it like this anyway so we can see the background here. So caution, staff only with a big red button, and Vanny peering through the doorway. And it kind of looks like this is some sort of storage room here, so caution, staff only. What would staff stand for? My personal opinion is security team at Freddy Fazbear's. It's interesting to see that Vanny is in this area, and if staff does mean security team at Freddy Fazbear's and Vanny is coming out, maybe that means the night guard is Vanny. She goes into the staff only area and then she puts on the costume, and you get this scene right here. So maybe the night guard is Vanny, and this scene right here shows her just after she's put the suit on, and now she's coming out to find Gregory. And then we get this awesome look of the logo here. Interesting that it just says security breach, not even Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, just simply security breach. So it kind of makes it sound a lot cooler, like it's its own standalone game, not even a Five Nights game, just security breach, which I think sounds a lot cooler. However, there is still one last shot of the trailer. This hand right here. Now, I've seen lots of people talking about this. This is Springtrap, this is Scraptrap, this is a nightmare animatronic. I don't know what it is, you know? I'm pretty sure this is the physical embodiment of Glitchtrap. So at the end of the game, Vanny builds a vessel for Glitchtrap, and now Glitchtrap is put into this body, and this is what we're seeing here. So I think this is going to be near the end of the game where Glitchtrap gets into a physical form and he's now this animatronic once again. You can even see this purple light glowing through here, so I definitely think that this is Glitchtrap. Something I can confirm it's not, however, are the hoaxes that came out a few days ago. There was some hoaxes a few days ago of some leaked images of security breach, which I'm going to be honest with you, kind of fooled me a little bit. I honestly thought that some of them were real. I knew it was a bit off, but that image was confirmed to be fake. So if you do see anyone sharing those images, just know they're not real. They are completely faked. Someone came out and said, I made this, so it got me personally, but they are not real, so we still don't know what this creature is going to look like. And then we get the 2021 release date. Still no firm release date, so I'm hoping that on the anniversary we will finally get that good old release date and we'll be able to count the days until this game releases. But until then, we don't know when it's gonna come out. But my goodness, I have been rambling on for a long time. I've been recording for an hour and a half. This trailer is 2 minutes long, so my voice really hurts. I think I'm gonna stop now. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this video here. I'm trying to go through everything. I probably still missed something, but I've been recording for a really long time now. I was even thinking about splitting this into 2 parts because of how much there is to talk about in this trailer, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make this its entire long video. Probably make it less edited, but it's still going to be interesting to see what your guys' opinions are on this trailer. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave this video here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to leave a good old like on it, and if you're new to the channel, why not consider subscribing? If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, make sure it's ring so you're notified every time I upload and you never miss a video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. jeez, I've been talking for half an hour and we're 40 seconds into the trailer. Oh my god, this is going to be a long ass video.